So, quickly, let's discuss regret and how do we handle our regret. It's a tough question, and we've all done things in the past that we would pay nearly any price to be able to go back and do differently. Maybe you had an opportunity that you didn't take, and maybe there was something that you just did not play right, and sacrifices that we took that may not seem completely worth it, you know? Whereas at the time it seemed so, or even seemed as if it was our only option, our only choice. Yet it is the only way, yet only to be found later on that there were other options that laid on the table that we may have overlooked or chosen wrongly. Um, or could they? Uh, Here's the cold facts. No matter the choices we make, left to right, up, down, forward, back, there are pros and cons. We want to be able to go back on our choices we make, but the reality is we really can't guarantee that the direction we took would have snowballed into the way that we truly wanted it to. Yes, sometimes it may be hard and you can't really know for sure whether certain things turn out, to benefit and to be the best possible outcome. Regardless, we can't dwell on the things that have already happened because there are so many variables that come into play. And yes, some things could be better or worse, but we must be grateful for what is. Now, pro wise, you may have had a child with the wrong man, and he causes you a tremendous deal of heartache and hell in your life. But at the end of the day, he gave you your child, and you're so upset because you went with the wrong house. You wanted the bigger house. You didn't want to pick the smaller house. But now your bills, your mortgage, your rent is just so high. There's so much extra square footage and your electric bill is so much higher. But at the end of the day, you have a home. That's fact. You know, but as well as recognize that what could be utilized, though, well, we have to be able to proceed with future decisions, and we have to use what we've done in the past and utilize the factors that have played out to present in order to know what we are going to do for our future decision making. So, knowing the power of your moves, know the consequences of your actions, and don't determine the damage you did, but still admit the benefits, still admit the reality of that. And that came with that choice or choices. You cannot change the past, but this information is crucial to ensuring that you make the right choices in the future. You know, um, it's similar to the Lion King, where the baboon swings the stick and hits Simba in the head, the staff, and hits him in the head, and he goes, "Ow, that hurt." And he said, "It doesn't matter. It's in the past." And then he swings the stick again, and Simba knows to duck. We can't change what happened yesterday, but we can most certainly utilize what happened yesterday to determine our course of action today, to determine the course of outcome for tomorrow. You can feel pain because, yes, right or wrong, some of the things and some of the directions we go follow with pain and regret and resentment and bitterness and question. So sometimes we hate ourselves for what we've done, and we even hate others for what they gain or got to skate by with. Um, but maybe even in cases they were instigated. They instigated the decision that you made. But however, while it must be recognized, it cannot be dwelled on to an unhealthy or detrimental point. So remember, you will be, You'll be faced with many points of sufficient choices that can take you in various separate areas and directions. And it is only best for you to weigh out all options on the table and be able to make the best possible choice. It's really hard for any of us to know ahead of time, which is the best option and direction to go. Nobody has all the answers, regardless of the insight, the skills, the arrogance, the hypervigilance that we possess. But we must use all the available resources and logic and rationality and probability and everything that we have available to make the best choices possible, and make sure that we combined it with the consciousness and the faith required. Approach with caution and weigh out your options, weigh out everything. We cannot change the past, but with proper consciousness, we can raise the probability of future comfort that we certainly deserve. And so I encourage you that it is very, very hard to deal with regret. It is very hard to let it go, and we all deal with it at some level of degree. But understand that you can utilize these skills. You can bring awareness and hypervigilance to yourself, and using the proper decision making, you can raise the probability that you will get that future decision that leaves you with comfort, leaves you with gain, your yield and your contentment and comfort, and not with more regret. Again, we cannot change the past, but we can utilize today to determine the more likelihood of the reality of tomorrow. And make sure, for those of you who you know somebody who's dealing with regret, with grief, with the kinds of things that we all suffer from depression, self-loathing, and suicidal tendencies, addiction. A lot of people, these are hard times. In 2022, we see a higher rate of child suicide, child neglect, starvation, divorce, dysfunctional households. We see all-time high of people committing suicide and overdosing, people not getting the help that they need, hoarding, elderly people who just wither away by themselves. And a lot of times they wither away in these kinds of mental health states where they regret and they self-loathe, and they're very, very depressed, very anxious, very bitter, and many, many other things. So I encourage you to not only seek help and enlightenment for yourself, but I encourage you to help do the same for others and try to bring this message and awareness to them as well. If you know somebody who needs help, and you know somebody who's suffering with mental illness and the turbulence that we all face at points in life, I want you to reach out to them. I want you to let them know what you can tell them to bring assurance and assistance to them. And remember that there are counselors and resources out there available to people who need that help. You understand? That there are plenty of programs, resources, and facilities and different things. There are many different coping mechanisms. Sometimes you just need to take and call a friend every so often. Call them up, talk to them, give them conversation. You might be the only person who they conversate with this week. Go out with them somewhere. Buy them lunch somewhere. Take them out to the park or out to the lake and fish with them. Something. We have to learn to help and assist with others, because it's not only us who deals with these problems, it's every last one of us. And there's 7.8 billion people on the planet today. That's a lot of sorrow. That's a lot of disposition. That's a lot of pain. And the only way we can bring that to a minimal is by helping out ourselves, enlightening ourselves, and then doing the same onto others. And with all that being said, I hope that this message comes to you and brings help and is useful for yourself, and I hope you're able to pass it along to others. Anything anyone would like to add to this, I encourage you, please comment down below. Leave a thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that stuff. But most importantly, show love, show kindness, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your neighbors, because at the end of the day, you're all you have, and you could be all they have. Y'all take care, and God bless.